income taxes in Canada were supposed to be a temporary measure to pay for World War One. But as they say, there's no such thing as a temporary government measure.
Dale on line 4. Hi, Dale. You're on the line.
How you doing?
Fine, thank you.
I got a question for the gentlemen that are sitting there. Our country used to be tax-free years ago. When was it they were tax-free? And why isn't we can't have 1 year where the government doesn't tax the people?
Dale, we're going to go for a break now, and we'll allow our guests to respond after the break. Stay tuned.
The level of tyranny you will have in your country is the level of tyranny you accept.
Tuned.
That's why, Dale. I hope that answers your question. Whatever you will accept, the government will do, including keeping the income tax on forever, even though it was supposed to be a temporary measure.
Hello again, and welcome back to Viewpoints on the Line. We're going to go down to our second subject matter shortly, but Dale called and asked a question about taxes. And Paul, during the break, you were giving us a little bit of a historical rundown here. Right. Yes.
Well, in 1917, because of World War I, the federal government started taxing income, and it was supposed to be a temporary thing, but they just kept doing it. And attempts to challenge that have not been successful because courts are appointed by the prime minister, and the minister, so it doesn't change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, why would they stop that revenue stream?
But yeah, there was a time at which income tax was not imposed by the federal government. In fact, in the province of Ontario, we didn't have income tax until 1969.
Until 1969 in Ontario, where I'm recording this from right now, there was no income tax. And Canada didn't have an income tax till 1917. And it was supposed to be a temporary measure, but they just kept going with it. I'm going to stop this video to point out how shitty video cameras were in 2008. This was recorded in 2008, which is only 14 years ago. But HD TVs were just becoming a thing.
Progressive conservatives brought in.
Man, it's crazy how much technology's advanced.
Socialized healthcare. It was meant to pay for
social welfare, though, is it's a tax drainer, but at the same time, you've got one camp that's for it, and the other that's totally against it because they feel like it's all on their back.
Yeah.
So it's a big one in terms of election campaigning. Would you say so?
Yeah.
They don't talk like this on Canadian TV anymore. You will not hear a single person on CTV, CBC talk like this. There's like no real conservative on TV anymore. Like, these people talk like conservatives. This lady too. I wonder if this TV show even exists still. I would imagine that it doesn't, because this would not be allowed. Her talking like this.
Healthcare. It was meant to pay for
social welfare, though, it's a tax drainer, but at the same time, you've got one camp.
You will not hear a single person anymore on mainstream TV talk bad about social welfare. Because social welfare and the socialized healthcare system, it's like a religion in Canada.
That's for it, and the other that's totally against it because they feel like it's all on their back.
Yeah.
So
it's on the back of people who actually produce, and the people who don't produce, they keep voting in for these socialist policies because they want to live off the tit of the government forever. But these bozos don't understand that there's no such thing as a free lunch. Eventually, this is why all democracies eventually end up eating themselves. Because people just vote for more and more free shit. And there's no such thing as free shit. Somebody has to pay for it. And eventually, all the productive people just leave. Like, all our rich people, the people who are really rich, they just escape to the United States. Or people who have real skills, like doctors. We have a huge brain drain with doctors right now, because they'll just go to the States and work in a private healthcare system where they can get paid more if they're good doctors. But try explaining that to a socialist or Marxist.
Big one in terms of election campaigning. Would you say so?
Yeah, well, I mean, we've got what's called progressive rates of taxation in the country. So not only do people who make more pay more, they pay at a higher rate.
And we're basically disincentivizing productivity. We're saying the more you make, the more we'll charge you. So it's like you're less incentivized to make more money. And if you're making more money, obviously you have to be more productive to make more money. But these progressive idiot socialists who've never run a business, never achieved anything, they don't understand that. If I'm making more money, I would have to be more productive. You know, unless I'm stealing the money or something like that. But in my business, the only way I can make more money is by providing more goods and services, is by serving more people. Increasing the total GDP output of the country. But these dumbasses don't understand that, man. You can't explain logic to a socialist person. They just want to do what sounds good.
And I mean, that's classic Marxism. That was in the Marxist, the Communist Manifesto. That was institute a progressive rate of income tax, and that's what we've got as a leftover from 20th century leftist thought. I think it's starting to reverse a bit, but it's
good. We're going towards full communism at this point in Canada, where it's not being rolled back.
Major hangover,
but this was in 2008. I wonder what this guy's doing now.
And government's getting more and more expensive. So
that's right.
So I went to their website, freedomparty.ca, and this is what their website looks like. Freedom is dead in Canada. Look at their website. This shit hasn't been updated since 2008. It even looks older than a 2008 design. Like, this website is straight from the 90s. The guy's still the leader of the party, so nothing's really changed. Freedom is dead in Canada, guys. Look at their website, the Freedom Party of Canada. This is their official website. It's a piece of shit. Freedom is fucking dead in Canada, bro. And it becomes very, very obvious when you look at their website. They have like a 519 number, not even a 1-800. I have an incorporation, and I have a 1-888 number for my business, and they don't. As I said earlier in this video, the level of tyranny that you put up with is the level of tyranny that you will have. Canadians, one way or the other, we pay half of our income in taxes, especially if you're a high earner. Let's say you're making $100,000 after federal tax and after the provincial tax and after HST in Ontario, it's 13% on anything you buy. You're paying 50% or more than 50% in taxes. But the thing with Canadians is we're very, very nice people. And because we're very, very nice, we're also very, very passive. Not me personally, but Canadians in general. And we'll put up with anything. Even if these taxes were higher, these people will put up with it. As long as you tell them that it's for their health care. Because health care is like a religion in this country. That's why no politician ever talks about any kind of serious healthcare reform in this country, because it'll be a death sentence to their political campaign. So yeah, the income tax, like a lot of these government programs, and just like a lot of government restrictions, like the recent handgun restrictions, they're supposed to be temporary, but they never are. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. This is Player's Perspective, and I'll see you in the next one.